Have you ever found yourself replaying a moment, a conversation, a touch long after it was over? Have you ever wondered why certain people leave a permanent imprint on our hearts, an echo that no new connection can seem to silence? What if I told you that the end of a relationship is often just the beginning of a different, more powerful story? We're often taught that love thrives on perfect openness, a seamless merging of two lives. But what happens when that desire for closeness crosses an invisible line, turning into a silent surveillance, a secret hunt for reassurance that only breeds more doubt? What's the true cost of seeking security in the digital shadows? Welcome to Love Threads, your guide to understanding the intricate world of modern connection. Tonight, we're unraveling the digital detective and the difficult yet necessary journey to build trust from within. At Love Threads, we don't just talk about relationships, we deconstruct them. We blend authentic, grounded insights with robust, evidence-based psychology, giving you the real intelligence on why we connect, why we sometimes misstep, and how to truly thrive when love feels like a constantly shifting landscape. Tonight, we're unraveling the intoxicating yet destructive cycle of the trauma bond and exploring how to break free. The dilemma. The ending story of absence. We're sold a fairy tale of the end, a clean break, a fresh start, a moving on. But what happens when the story doesn't end, but simply changes its form? Why is it that some departures feel like a physical amputation, leaving behind a phantom limb that still aches for a connection that no new connection can seem to silence? We are taught to believe that absence makes the heart grow fonder. But what if the opposite is true? What if absence solidifies a connection to an idea, a feeling, a potential that was never fully realized? We are navigating a new kind of emptiness in a world of infinite options, where we can be with 100 people and still be haunted by the one we left behind. You're not too much, but maybe you learn to shrink to stay loved, and now your absence has become the very thing that makes you unforgettable. The modern dating landscape, with its endless swiping and constant flow of new faces, often promises a cure for loneliness, yet it frequently delivers a deeper sense of disconnection. We mistake quantity for quality, believing that if we just find the right person, all of our internal issues will magically disappear. But as some have pointed out, the problem isn't the number of options, it's the lack of inner work. When a connection ends, especially one that was significant, the ghost of that relationship can feel more real and potent than any new tangible presence. This isn't just a romantic ache. It's a cognitive loop, a neurological echo. Our brains, seeking to complete the unfinished story, will replay the past, creating a hyper-idealized version of what was, leaving us trapped in a maze of our own making. This is the heart of the matter. The mind's refusal to close the book on a love story that feels incomplete. It's a fundamental human struggle between the need for closure and the emotional pull of an open-ended narrative. We live in an age of constant connectivity, yet we've never felt more disconnected from ourselves and from the emotional weight of our own choices. The very tools designed to bring us closer, social media, messaging apps, and constant digital pings, can become the new prisons of our own making, keeping the past alive and haunting our present. The paradox is that the more we try to fill the void, the deeper it seems to get, because what we're really looking for is not a new person, but an unhealed part of ourselves. This constant replay isn't just an emotional reflex, it's a learned behavior. It's what happens when our internal compass, our sense of self-worth, is entirely dependent on external validation. We give away our power when we make someone else the source of our happiness. The moment we start believing that our value is tied to whether someone chooses to stay or leave, we lose the game. We become the player who is constantly looking for the final score from someone else, when in reality, we should be the one keeping our own score. This is why the absence of a loved one can feel like a part of us has been amputated. It's not just the person we miss, it's the version of ourselves we were when we were with them. We mourn the loss of a future that never was, a potential that was shattered. And in that mourning, we get stuck. We are in a state of emotional paralysis where our bodies and minds are in a perpetual on-hold state, waiting for a call that may never come. The obsession with the past relationship is a form of addiction, a dopamine loop that is triggered by the uncertainty of the past. Our brains are fascinated by the incomplete story because it presents a problem to be solved. We believe that if we just replayed the conversation one more time, we could have said something different. If we just analyzed the situation from every possible angle, we could find the key to a different outcome. This is a classic example of what psychologists call rumination. It's the brain's attempt to process something it couldn't fully understand in the moment. The problem is, this rumination only serves to strengthen the neural pathways associated with the past, making it harder and harder to move forward. We are literally wiring our brains to be stuck. The person we are obsessed with isn't a person anymore. They're a ghost, a symbol, a puzzle, and the more we try to solve the puzzle, the more we become a prisoner of our own mind. Think about what happens when you go to the gym and lift weights. The more you do it, the stronger you get. The same principle applies to our thoughts. The more we think about the past, the more we strengthen the emotional muscles that keep us tied to it. The more we replay old memories, the more real they become, the more they feel like our present reality. This is why simply thinking positively isn't enough. It's not about changing a thought, it's about rewiring a neurological habit. We have to actively create new experiences, new neural pathways that can compete with the old ones. This is the work of true transformation. It's the difference between trying to forget something and actively building a new life that is so compelling the past loses its power over you. It's a choice to stop being the victim of our history and become the architect of our future. Anecdotal threads: the story of the seeker and the guardian. Let's explore the stories of two archetypal figures who embody this dilemma. There is the seeker, a person whose life feels like a constant search. They move from one relationship to the next, believing that the next person will finally fill the void left by the last. The seeker's world is full of new beginnings, but never true endings. They are propelled by a deep-seated fear of being alone, a fear that was likely born from early experiences where emotional needs were met inconsistently. As an infant, their emotional cues might have been ignored, teaching them on a visceral level that they had to constantly search for connection to survive. This early blueprint, this internal wiring, creates an adult who believes that love is a resource they must always be chasing, a game of hide and seek where they are forever the one seeking. This isn't about promiscuity. It's about a desperate, unconscious attempt to prove to themselves that they are worthy of being chosen. The seeker's journey is a reflection of a core belief that they are not enough on their own. They are constantly looking for external validation to fill an internal emptiness. This is the essence of one insight. We often mistake our search for the perfect partner for a search for our own lost self. The seeker is not running from a person. They are running from themselves. They are a prisoner of their own anxiety, a person who is constantly on the move, never truly present in any single moment. They are looking for a cure in a world of endless options, but the cure is not a person. It's a profound self-acceptance that they are desperately avoiding. Then there is the guardian, who, after a significant break, cannot stop building a mental monument to the past. The guardian's mind is a fortress of memories, of what-ifs, and of meticulous reconstructions of a love story that ended abruptly. The guardian's pain isn't just about the loss of a person, but about the loss of a future they had meticulously planned. Their emotional blueprint is one of control and certainty. Perhaps in childhood, they were the one who had to hold the family together, the one who had to anticipate every emotional need and plan for every potential crisis. When a relationship ends unexpectedly, it shatters their entire sense of self, leaving them with an unfinishable project. Their brain, in a desperate attempt to restore order, keeps returning to the blueprint, trying to find a flaw in the design, a piece of the puzzle that was missed. The guardian finds themselves trapped in a kind of shadow work that they never asked for, forced to confront the parts of themselves that crave control and stability above all else. They are the ones who endlessly scroll through old photos, reread old texts, and imagine a different outcome. They are not chasing the person. They are chasing the completion of a story that was torn from their hands. These two figures, the seeker and the guardian, represent two sides of the same coin, the inability to truly let go. One is running from the void, the other is trying to fill it with ghosts. Both are driven by the same fundamental fear, that a story left unfinished is a story that will forever define their worth. They are both haunted by the echo of a love that once was. The echo is not just a memory, it's a living, breathing entity that feeds on our inability to close the loop. It is the sound of a song that ended too soon, a question that was left unanswered, a future that was left unwritten. The echo is a powerful force because it preys on our deepest human need for narrative completion. It keeps us from being present, from truly connecting with the people in front of us, because we are always listening for the sound of the past. The echo is a form of emotional purgatory, where we are neither fully in the past nor fully in the present. This is a topic that one expert would likely describe as being stuck in the moment before. It's the hesitation, the overthinking, the inability to make a move because we are still processing what happened before. The echo is the feeling that we are constantly waiting for something to happen, a new text, a new call, a new sign that will finally give us the closure we so desperately seek. But as one wise voice in the self-help world might say, closure is an inside job. It is not something that someone else can give us. It is something we must give ourselves. The echo will only be silenced when we choose to stop listening to it and start creating new music. A deeper look at the brain and trauma. The obsessive and cyclical nature of clinging to a past love isn't just an emotional state. It's a powerful neurological and physiological response. When we fall in love, our brain's reward system is activated, flooding us with dopamine. This gives us that feeling of euphoria, focus, and energy. It's the same system that is activated in addiction, and the parallels are striking. When a relationship ends, our brain goes into a state of withdrawal. The dopamine is gone, and we are left with a craving for the person who once provided that fix. This withdrawal is a very real physical and mental experience, causing feelings of lethargy, anxiety, and an inability to focus. It's why we feel so desperately compelled to relive the past. Our brain is essentially seeking to get its fix again, even if it's only in our memories. This is the psychological reality of trauma bonding. It's not about two people bonding over a shared trauma. It's a paradoxical attachment that forms in a relationship with a cyclical pattern of intense highs and painful lows. The pattern is characterized by intermittent reinforcement. The abuser provides moments of kindness and affection that are interspersed with abuse. This cycle is incredibly powerful and difficult to break because the brain becomes addicted to the relief that comes after a period of tension. The reward system is engaged not by consistent love, but by the cessation of pain. This teaches the brain to cling to the person who is causing the pain, as they are also the source of the relief. This creates a deep-seated belief that the person who hurts you is also the only one who can make you feel safe again. Rewriting the narrative. The path out of this maze begins not with a new person, but with a new story. We must stop trying to change the past and start changing our relationship to it. The first step is to recognize that we are not the victim of our history, but its author. The pen is in our hands, and we have the power to write a new chapter. This isn't about forgetting the past. It's about reframing it. This is a process of radical acceptance. It's about accepting that the breakup happened, that the pain is real, and that the person is gone. This acceptance is not an endorsement. It is a release. It allows us to stop fighting the reality of the situation and start tending to the wound. As one would say, you can't be at peace with your present if you're constantly at war with your past. We must find a way to make peace with the narrative we have been given so that we can finally start writing our own. We must also challenge the notion that love is a singular, finite resource. When we hold on to the idea that there is only one right person for us, we are denying ourselves the possibility of new connections and new forms of love. We must embrace the idea that we are capable of loving deeply and authentically more than once in our lives. This is a testament to our capacity for love, not a betrayal of our past. It's a mindset shift that is foundational to building a new life, creating a future that excites you more than your past. It's about moving from a state of longing for what was to a state of anticipation for what's to come. Finally, we must stop outsourcing our worth. We cannot rely on a new relationship to make us feel whole or a past one to define us. Our worth is an inherent part of who we are, independent of who we are with. This is a journey of self-individuation, a psychological concept of becoming a fully integrated, whole individual. This process is messy, difficult, and often lonely, but it is the only path to true and lasting freedom. This is where we must do the hard work of self-discovery. We have to ask ourselves, who am I when I'm not in a relationship? What do I truly want outside of someone else's presence? This is the work of building an identity that is so strong, it cannot be shaken by the comings and goings of others. This is a profound shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. It's a move from, I am only whole when I am with someone, to, I am whole, and I choose to share my life with someone, a new state of being. It's not about trying to get something, it's about becoming the person who already has it. It's a shift from being a seeker to being a creator. It's about embodying the kind of love you want to receive, and in doing so, attracting it effortlessly. The past loses its grip when the present becomes so captivating that you no longer have the time or energy to look back. The ghost of your ex disappears when you finally become fully present in your own life. This is the process of building an internal fortress, a sense of self that is so unshakable it can withstand the storms of love and loss. It's a journey from being the hero of a tragic love story to being the author of a masterpiece of self-creation. The turning point is not when you find someone new, but when you realize you no longer need them to complete your story. This journey is not a race and it is not a destination. It is a continuous, day-by-day practice of choosing yourself. It's about making small, intentional choices that build on each other. It's about taking a moment to breathe when the old feelings of panic or sadness arise. It's about consciously choosing to not check their social media, to not reread the old messages, to not listen to the songs that remind you of them. These small acts of self-discipline are not about denial. They are about empowerment. They are a way of saying to your subconscious, I am in charge now. Where focus goes, energy flows. We have to consciously shift our focus from the ghost of the past to the potential of our future. This is how we begin to create a new reality for ourselves, one that is not defined by what we have lost, by what we are capable of creating. This is the work of transforming pain into purpose. It's the art of taking the emotional energy that was once used to ruminate on the past and redirecting it toward building a life that you are proud of. It's about turning the hurt into a catalyst for growth. The ghost of the past is a powerful teacher, but only if we are willing to learn its lessons. The moment we stop running from it and start listening to what it has to say, we begin to free ourselves from its grip. The ghost is not here to haunt us. It is here to guide us toward a deeper, more authentic version of ourselves. The turning point is the moment you realize that the ghost you are chasing isn't them. What if the echo you can't silence isn't their voice, but your own? What if the phantom limb that aches for a connection is actually your own neglected self, crying out for attention? What if the story you're trying to finish isn't theirs, but your own? Healing begins when we stop outsourcing our worth to the echoes of our childhood. It begins when we realize that the love we are chasing is actually a mirror of the love we were denied, and that the only person who can truly give us that love is ourselves. This is the moment of emotional shift, the spark of hope. It's the realization that the trauma bond we think we have with another person is actually a bond with our own unhealed trauma. You can belong to yourself without abandoning the desire for connection. The most profound act of love is to stay when you want to leave, to stay with yourself in the discomfort of your own heart, and to tend to the wounds that are finally ready to heal. It's a quiet, sacred moment when you realize that you are the love story you have been waiting for. The most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. This is the core of all true and lasting happiness. The turning point is the moment you stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" It's a shift from a mindset of victimhood to a mindset of empowerment. It's the moment you realize that the pain you are feeling is not a sign of weakness, but a sign that you are ready to heal. It's a sign that the ghost of the past is finally ready to be put to rest, not by someone else, but by you. It's an act of radical self-love and self-acceptance. This is not a journey to be taken alone, even if the destination is a renewed relationship with yourself. It's about finding the courage to be vulnerable and to reach out for support. Many people find comfort in talking to a trusted friend, a family member, or a professional who can offer a new perspective. The stories of the seeker and the guardian are universal, and the path out of the maze is well-trodden. There are communities and resources dedicated to helping people heal from heartbreak and move past unfinished stories. The act of sharing your experience, of putting words to the ghost that haunts you, is an incredible act of liberation. It's a way of taking back the power from the past and reclaiming your voice. By allowing yourself to be seen in your pain, you begin to heal it. The journey to let go is not about forgetting, but about remembering what it feels like to be whole on your own. It's about honoring the lessons learned and recognizing that they have made you stronger, not weaker. This strength is not a shield to keep others out, but a foundation upon which to build a new, more authentic life. It's about transforming the echo of the past into the sound of your own voice, clear and confident, guiding you toward a future of your own design. So, ask yourself, where did you first learn that the only way to feel safe was to keep the story open-ended? What would it feel like to love without needing a monument to the past? What would it feel like to close the book on a chapter not with bitterness, but with a deep sense of gratitude for the lessons it taught you? Maybe the most radical thing you can do is to leave when you want to stay, to leave the ghost of a past relationship behind, to finally close the door on the unfinished business, and to walk into a future that is not haunted by the past. Maybe the most radical thing you can do is to become the love story you want to live. Share your experiences and reflections in the comments below, and let's continue to unravel the heart of modern connection, one insightful thread at a time. If this stirred something in you, subscribe to Love Threads for more wisdom on navigating the beautiful, complex landscape of love.